Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about urge surfing, one probably of the most powerful techniques in order to deal with binge eating, emotional eating, strong cravings, and practically any other compulsive behavior that disturbs you, like alcohol dependence, like smoking, like that kind of things. As I told already in many of my previous videos, in January of this year, I decided that I would like to kind of change my life completely, like we typically do at the beginning of a new year. And I decided that I want to stop all these dieting things, which kind of don't bring me any result. Yeah, I may lose some weight, but after gaining it back and with some kind of additional not so pleasant bonuses. I started dieting when I was in normal weight. Now eventually I reached the weight of overweight. Now I'm obese. And it seems like the harder I try kind of to improve, to fix myself, the worse situation is becoming. So now I'm obese, and now I'm having a bunch of problems with food, like emotional eating, like binge eating episode, like some strong cravings sometimes, especially when I'm emotionally not stable. And I was kind of trying to find more information how to solve it, and definitely there is a lot to that, and practically most of my videos, if not all of the videos on my channel, are devoted to this topic, because I believe it's quite a complex thing and it requires a pretty deep approach, because you not only need to fix your relationship with food, you need to fix your relationship with your head, with yourself, with the way you talk to yourself, your inner dialogue, your self-trust, self-respect. Like, definitely it's a very complex thing. But one of the most interesting techniques that I found while I was researching this topic and thinking, how can I fix my relationship with food? How can I break this loop of automated actions and just eating uncontrolled? I came across this nice idea of urge surfing. And actually, idea here is pretty simple. Once you have an urge to eat something or do something that you think you should not do, or you want to stop, kind of any habit that you would like to stop, and the feeling, the trigger that push you to perform that action, like to eat something, or like to do something like drink or smoke, this trigger certain emotions, and you feel urge, like uncontrolled strong desire to do something. Like those of you who also have episodes of binge eating, and mostly today I'm going to refer to this example because this is something I'm personally dealing with. Once you have this sudden binge eating desire, this binge eating urge, it feels like it's stronger than you. You're kind of not aware of what's happening. You are just like go to the fridge and eat everything you have, or you just go to the shop, buy everything, come home and eat it till the pain in your stomach. And even though logically you understand that you should not do it, you even understand that once kind of you finish like eating all that food, you will feel horrible both mentally and physically, you still keep doing it because that urge controls you. It's so strong that you cannot resist. It's so strong that it's this urge that controls you, not you that control that urge. And the idea of urge surfing, instead of fighting this feeling, and we already know, science already knows that the harder you fight something, the stronger you make this, because you're actually giving to it emotions and energy. So like this very famous example, the hardest, doesn't matter how hard you try not to think about pink elephant in the room, you see pink elephant in the room because you are still kind of having this idea of not thinking about pink elephant in the room. So instead of fighting and giving even more power to this urge, or kind of just giving in to this urge and go and eat, you kind of just ride it like a wave. You accept this feeling, you observe this feeling, you observe how this urge is going up, you observe how this urge is growing in your body, you let it happen, you let it go, and that's it. So you're not fighting, you're not giving it to this urge, you just kind of let it come and let it go. How does it work? Science tells us that practically all urges are lasting between 15 to 30 minutes. Of course, there are some different scenarios when it be way longer or when it be kind of way shorter. But let's say 15-30 minutes, it's the average time that urge happening. And the idea is here, for these 15 to 30 minutes, you are not fighting with this feeling in your head that you should not go to the fridge, for example. But you are also not going to the fridge and eat. You kind of notices the wave of this urge. And again, science tells us that all urges have kind of the beginning when you start noticing that this kind of idea in your head, this feeling is growing, that you want to eat something, for example. Eventually, it goes to its peak when the desire is the strongest. Then desire is so strong that it feels like you cannot think about anything else except that cookies in your fridge or that cake or ice cream. But eventually, this urge becoming less and less, and it starts going down, disappearing. And eventually, it's just gone, and you no longer feel like this urge is controlling you. You kind of feel control is back in your hands. And the idea is to be able to go through all of these stages of urge, again, without fighting it, without trying to distract yourself or resist, and also without actually following the urge and doing what you think you should not do. So, obviously, from this description, we can already understand what are the stages of dealing with urge, with kind of riding this urge as a wave. And obviously, the first step is recognizing and noticing it. So once you start having this feeling or start having in your head this idea that you want to eat that ice cream, you just need to calm down, sit, breathe, perhaps, like breathing really helps me, for example, and just start observing it as some kind of theater, as some kind of movie. Like you are not inside of what's happening. You're kind of like outside, and you're just looking, observing how this urge is growing. And you just accept it like as it should be. We are not trying to avoid it. We are not trying to distract. You are not trying to watch something or go for a walk in order to distract yourself. You are just sitting calmly and observing how this feeling, how this urge is growing. And you are trying to label this feeling. And I think for me, it's especially important. I'm saying, okay, now I feel this urge of eating that ice cream in my fridge. Or now I'm having this urge to go to this shop and buy like 20 packages of cookies. And you just like label, this is my feeling, this is how I feel. And there is no judgment. You are just like a scientist who just observing, now I'm having this very strange feeling, or now I'm having this feeling that I want to eat that ice cream. So there is no judgment, there is no blaming, there is only neutral, emotionless observation of what's happening and labeling that particular feeling, state, or emotion. Next step will be to describe it as precise as it possible. So you need to concentrate and think where this feeling is happening in my body. Is it like idea in my head? Is it like start growing in my head? Or is it like a feeling somewhere in my chest and I feel that this feeling to eat something is going from my chest, maybe from my stomach, maybe from somewhere else. And you need to identify the location where exactly this feeling is growing. You need to observe how it's growing, like maybe it's growing from 1 to 10, and you should feel all the stages, how this feeling is growing. If you can, and with a lot of practice it's actually happening, you can start feeling the temperature of this feeling. Is it something cold or hot? You can also feel the color of this feeling. Is it red, green, blue, black, white? You can even feel sometimes consistency. Is it more like something hard? Is it more like a vapor? Is it something more like a smoke? And the more details you give to this feeling and how it's actually moving and routing, the better. Like precise description is really important in this case. And you should notice how kind of this feeling is getting stronger. Maybe while it's getting stronger, it's changing its color. Maybe it's changing its shape. Maybe it's changing the location of your body. Maybe it started like some kind of idea in your head, but after it moved to your stomach and started growing already there. So just sit like a scientist who is observing an experiment and just feel it, describe it, notice it. And eventually you will notice how your brain is reaching the peak. Maybe at first time when you're doing this technique, you will not understand that it was actually the peak. But once you repeat it a couple of times, you will know already when is actually the peak. And eventually after that, that feeling is going to go down. And the key idea here, to stay as an observer, as a scientist through all this process. Since this feeling is started growing, since this feeling is kind of reaching its top, and since this urge is starting going down and eventually disappearing. And even if after disappearing, a few minutes later, this urge is coming back, that's okay. It also happens, it's pretty normal. Just repeat the procedure, especially when you are just starting dealing with that. Urges can come a couple of times, but for some people it's not coming. So really each case is kind of individual and you need to test for yourself. But kind of the idea is no urge is lasting forever. All of urges, even the strongest one, even the most horrible ones, are going to finish. And once they finish, you will get control back into your hands and you will be able to act as you plan. So you're gonna follow your goals. And the idea is just to build this skill of going through this urge without acting on it and without resisting and fighting it. And first time, again, it may take 30 minutes, it may take even 1 hour, but eventually it's gonna be easier, it's gonna take less time, and it will be easier because your body will have already the experience of noticing it. So you will hear the first trigger, you will feel this feeling growing, you will feel the peak, and you will feel how it's going down. And the biggest plus of this situation that you no longer associate yourself with this urge. You are not urge. You are not the one who just who is kind of like possessed with this feeling of eating something or smoking or drinking. You kind of separate yourself. You create a gap between you and this urge. This urge, it's not you. You are observing this urge, but this urge, it's not part of you. This urge is just kind of doing something inside you, but this is not you. And already this gap, this separation from urge gives control again back into your hands. One of the biggest pluses of this technique is also that it helps to build self-trust, because you understand this is not this urge that control me, this is me. So you can trust yourself in any situation. You can trust yourself when you're on holidays. You can trust yourself when you come to party. You can trust yourself when during holidays, New Year or Christmas, your fridge is full of tasty foods that you're trying to limit. You can no longer be afraid of food because you know you will be able to regulate it. You will be able to self-regulate around this food. You will be able to hold control. And even though it's not gonna happen like in first months, let's say, of your trying, but you will see the skill is like any skill, is going to growing and get better and better. You are going to be more mindful around food. You will bring yourself self-trust. It's also going to increase self-confidence. And also it's going to help you to build something which is called distress tolerance. And one of my next videos is going to be about it, because I think it's probably one of the most important skills that anyone can build. Because if you can tolerate something that makes you feel uncomfortable, then you can kind of tolerate everything. All world is in your hands. And again, even though I'm just a beginner, I'm only kind of on my way to building like this distress tolerance to the level I would like to have. I already see a huge progress. And being able to serve your urges, it's one of the most biggest steps in order actually to have this good level of this very, very important skill, the stress tolerance. So I hope you find this video useful. If you have some more personal experiences connected with this technique, in case you are a binge eater like me, probably you heard about this, please share them in the comments. The more successful stories we have, the more positive experiences from other people we hear, the more tools we have, the easier it is for us to reach our big and ambitious goals. So thank you for staying here with me. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon.